Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is NGS and thank you so much for clicking on the video. Now, this is probably going to be the latest video that you ever see on this topic. We're not going to mince any words, we're going to dive straight into it. We're going to talk about Nintendo's Switch reveal. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a few days late with this, mainly because I wanted to wait till I assemble the NXP podcast to do a full video. And if you guys are interested in seeing a full-on discussion with me, Jamal, and Ryan, comment down below. But, I've had a lot of personal thoughts about this system that I just... I really felt like I should do a proper video on it. And every time I go on someone else's channel and talk about the system, everyone's like, hey, Neo, when are you going to do a video on this? So, I might as well be a sheep and, cater to everybody else. There's a lot I can say about the Switch, but what I'm not going to do in this video is I'm not going to go over what the Switch is. I'm not going to go over what it can do, the advertising video. I'm not going to read you off what the console, handheld, hybrid, whatever it wants to be. I'm not going to go over what it is, because I don't feel like it's constructive. What I want to do with this video is something different. This video is a call to arms to all Nintendo fans. What do I mean by that? By that I mean, this is a call to arms to everybody who's getting excited about the Nintendo Switch. Anybody, if you are interested in this system, if you have any hype geared towards this system, stop being excited. Now that's a very negative way to start off the video if you ask me, but bear with me, I'm going to explain why. With this Nintendo Switch reveal, I can't help but think that it's pretty nostalgic, to say the least. I'm seeing a lot of phrases and terms thrown around for this system that remind me of another console. A console that's, at this point, barely 4 years old. And yeah, I'm talking about the Wii U. Yes, the Wii U. I know everyone's sick and tired of Neo ranting on the Wii U. But it's topical. It's something that pertains to the situation. I'm seeing a lot of same people who are hyping up the Nintendo Wii U for its quote-unquote innovations and quote-unquote possibilities and quote-unquote things to get excited for, its differences. They're using the same things to describe their hype towards the Switch. Its innovation, its differences, Nintendo's keeping developers on their toes. I'm seeing a lot of people say these sort of things, and honestly, I can't help but feel nostalgic. Because there's only been, not even 4 years since the Wii U launched. I don't even think it's its 4th birthday until November. It's a very, very, very young console, and we're already hearing news about its successor. Now, is that a problem? Is a short 4 to 5 year generation an issue when it comes to video game generations? No, because that is the norm. It was only with the 7th generation that we had 7-8 year long spans, and that's only because the advent of the internet and the ability to download updates and patches and to create longevity for these consoles that prompted these manufacturers and developers to keep prolonging that. But that is a rarity. That is not something that will happen. Most console generation cycles last 5 years. So you would think on paper that this isn't a problem. It's just shortchanged 1 year. No, here's the issue. It'd be a different story if it was a healthy 4 years for the Wii U, but it wasn't. Guys, take off the rose-tinted glasses and smell the coffee. Smell it, smell it. It smells friggin' good, and it's not hipster Starbucks stuff, even though Starbucks is kind of good. The Wii U was a failure. Let's not sit here and try to say it wasn't. It was. It was the worst-selling Nintendo home console, and honestly, if you're comparing it to all the other Nintendo consoles that have been released, and before anybody brings up the Virtual Boy, yeah, don't. It was the worst. From game variety, from the promises that they made for the system, just in terms of their competition, it wasn't competition. This wasn't a system that you could proudly stack against your other consoles and say, this is why I bought the system. Honestly, it was the most safe Nintendo console in the sense that you're buying the system just for Nintendo games. That's what these consoles have devolved into. You're just buying them for Nintendo games. And that's disappointing. Because Nintendo needs to evolve. They don't need to innovate. They need to evolve. And if all we're getting every generation is another Mario, another Smash Bros, another Zelda, what are we doing? All we're doing is having gimped hardware. That's the biggest problem behind this. The biggest problem with Nintendo is not the competition. The biggest problem with Nintendo, and I've been saying this for 4 years now, is Nintendo. They are incapable of creating modern hardware. They don't know what the gamer wants. They don't know what the North American gamer wants. They don't know what the European gamer wants. They don't know what the Japanese gamer wants. Especially not from a console perspective. They don't know any of this stuff. Do they make great games? Yeah, they do, but honestly, you can tell that from their recent entries on the Wii U. Not as much as the GameCube, definitely not as much as the N64, and nowhere near the amount as the NES and the SNES. But that's enough about the Wii U. I'm not going to sit here and rag on that because, we've done multiple videos on it. But I want to point out something about the Wii U. Everybody was so excited and anticipating the Wii U that they spent more time defending the system for its faults than actually fighting back against Nintendo. Y'all might recall a couple people in the community starting up a movement called Nintendo Redirect. This was meant to get the attention of the main branches at Nintendo, North America, Japan, Europe, and create a better system because the Wii U was severely lacking in not only games, but features. Features that existed on the Xbox 360 in 2005. Now, I know people are going to say, well, those features could have been added with an update. It's 4 years later and we still don't have cross-game chat, or voice chat, or proper friend invites, or streaming on the system. We don't have any of those things on the Wii U. Where are those updates? Seriously. Like, there were so many people in the community that tried to change this console, but unfortunately, they weren't enough. They weren't the vocal majority. They were actually the vocal minority, because the majority of people kept saying that everything's fine. Nintendo knows what they're doing. Don't say anything negative against Nintendo. Do you want another PlayStation? If you want a PlayStation, buy a PlayStation. If you want an Xbox, buy an Xbox. You buy Nintendo systems for the Nintendo experience. What is the Nintendo experience? Getting a gimped console that has somewhat decent games? I don't think that should be an experience that we talk about. I don't think that the biggest selling point of a Nintendo system is that, ooh, look what this cool new gimmick is going to be. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of, the biggest selling point of these Nintendo systems. The games come second to that. It's all about what this thing can do that's different, that can get people going, ooh, and ah, and wow. I'm tired of that. Now, are all gimmicks inherently wrong? No, they are not. But when you spend so much time talking about this instead of creating a functional console that is up to the standards in 2017, I gotta worry. And to be honest, the Switch worries me immensely. Not only is that this console, just from a technical standpoint, kind of irritating, but the fact that this console is supposed to be out in less than 5 months. We know little to nothing about the console. And we're not getting any news until next year, which will be 60 days out from the console. That's very worrisome to me. Like, I know these console manufacturers start this stuff years in advance, but if you're a Sony or a Microsoft, you spend time talking about your system. You let people know because they have to have incentive to buy it. Nintendo is not Apple. They do not have the market. Like, say what you want about Apple, but Apple is a brand that people know and they recognize and they have confidence in. Regardless of this war between Android and iOS, people get what they want from Apple products. And they're quality products year in and year out. Despite the phrases that are kind of weird, like taking out the headphone jack. That's courageous. Yeah, we're not getting into that. But the point remains. Every single year, Apple comes out with a quality product. And that's why people put so much trust in Apple. That's why people put I can't even say Samsung anymore because as a former Note 7 owner, that's why people put these trusts in certain companies. But with Nintendo, it's always give them the benefit of the doubt. Let them do what Nintendo does. Nintendo has been on a downward spiral for generations, guys. If you take out the anomaly that was the Wii, Nintendo systems have been on a downward spiral in sales. And they've been getting less and less first and third party games. That's not good. We shouldn't expect that. We shouldn't expect that we should get this system to accompany our PlayStation 4, our Xbox One, our gaming rig. No, Nintendo should be a powerhouse. Nintendo should be at the top. But it's the fans who are holding them back. Not even just holding them back. They are enabling Nintendo to make these stupid decisions instead of telling them, hey, listen, you need to do this, you need to do that. Why is it that PlayStation 3 went from one of the worst consoles last generation when it first came out to being one of the best by the end? Because Sony realized that they were shit out of luck if they didn't start adapting to what people wanted. It's why the PlayStation 4 is selling so well, because Sony listened. And it's to the opposite degree, it's why the Xbox One isn't selling so well. Because Microsoft tried to cater to an audience that just wasn't there. Why is it that we can see both the positive and negative ramifications of this, yet we can never apply this to Nintendo? We can never tell Nintendo, listen, enough is enough. You need to stop doing these things and you need to give us what we want. And I know it sounds like me just saber rattling and oh, doom and gloom and all this nonsense, but listen, I predicted all the shortcomings of the Wii U 4 years ago. People said I was wrong, people said I was a hater, people said I was a fanboy, but look where we are right now. The last major Wii U game that released this year was Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. That was in June. There's no major high-profile Wii U exclusive coming out for the rest of the year. The console's not even 4 years old yet. And we're supposed to get excited for a next generation of Nintendo consoles. Why? Because we have a new way to play? No! No, I don't care if it's portable. I don't care if you could take it out on the go. We're literally going to be in the same situation with our tails between our legs, wondering what in the world happened. And this is the part of the video where I insert the definition of insanity is the same thing and expecting a different result. No. No. This is why I'm taking a very, keep that system away from me until Nintendo can prove that they've learned. Because everybody thought Nintendo learned with the Wii U. They didn't. Are they going to learn with the Switch? I don't know, but Nintendo doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. They haven't shown that they deserve the benefit of the doubt. They haven't told us anything about this system. They've kept it, pretty much hidden all this time. And if any of these reports and leaks are to be true, the system is apparently going to have less than 5 hours of battery because it's all on the tablet. That doesn't really go well for the portability aspect that they're trying to sell it on. That's basically what I wanted to get on camera and talk about. I know people are going to paint this as me just being a, regular Nintendo hater and you just don't want them to succeed because you hate Nintendo games. Listen, if your only defense and retort to a person leveling valid criticism and showing facts of stuff that happened in history is to call them a fanboy and saying you don't understand and wait for this and wait for E3 and wait. Why are we always waiting? Why the hell are we always waiting with these Nintendo games? Why can't we just get everything from the get-go? Why? It's annoying. It's freaking ridiculous, man. I think we need to grow up, and so does Nintendo.